staying busy. I get the honor of sitting with a music vet right here. And basically what we're going to be doing, we're going to be having a little discussion. He's going to give me some inside information because y'all know I'm still rising to the top one way or another. Roger, if you could tell people a little bit about yourself and tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm a CEO and director of A&R, Artists and Repertoire, for Capsicum Records, the founder of Capsicum Records, which is a Hartford, Connecticut-based indie.
Okay.
We have a unique sound, which we call reggae infusion, and the DJs call roots on the bottom and pop on the top. It's kind of mixed genre. Everything kind of got a reggae groove underneath it, or a dancehall groove underneath it. On top might sound like R&B, might sound like gospel, might sound like jazz, might sound like country.
All right.
We mix them all together. What I decided to do when I first decided we needed a Capsicum Records was that I took a page out of Bob Marley's book and Chris Blackwell's book, where
Chris Blackwell.
It was a producer from the UK who
I don't think
started working.
People know who
Well, Chris Blackwell was a producer from the UK who met Bob Marley, fell in love with his music, and said, "This stuff could really cross over. I know that's not where you. When you're writing it, it's not what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
You're doing rootsy stuff." He said, "But this stuff is really melodic. It's got strong messages. It's not just for a Rasta population. I hear this stuff all over the world." And Bob trusted him. Bob trusted him enough to let him work side by side with him. And that's why Bob Marley's stuff, it's interesting. We call Elvis the king, and we called Michael Jackson the king of pop. Let me tell you, the real king of pop was Bob Marley.
Yeah. Not to cut you off or anything, but you said A&R. Mm-hmm. Now, basically, I like to try to educate some of these young artists out there. And, at one point, it seemed as though the A&Rs were like a dying breed. So what does an A&R do now? When you have the internet, you have Facebook, MySpace, all these social network sites and YouTube. And
well, I'm old school, so I look at that job, that part of my job, as basically the part that recruits artists, finds songs that either they've written or somebody I know, including myself, have written, and match up an artist with the right song, try to get them a hit record. That's what the A&R. That's a real shorthand description of A&R. Matching artists and repertoire.
How many years you've been in this game?
I started in '76. Those days I just wrote lyrics, so it's 36 years in the business now.
So you're a writer too?
Part-time, yes. That's actually home base for me, as I'm a songwriter.
Okay.
And then from there I became a producer and arranger, and now I'm a record label executive who basically is still a songwriter and a record producer.
So what do you think about the industry as far as back in the days to today?
Well, I have real mixed feelings about
one of them.
Okay. Well, my first reaction is it's wide open, and that's a good thing. You don't need an entire conglomerate to go and make a name for yourself in the industry. The internet has broken down all those walls that the majors would put up before you could even get somebody to say, "I like this kid. I think he's got potential. Let's try a single and see if he catches on."
Okay.
So, in that sense, it's good because you don't need to be blessed by anybody else before you can go and present your material to the public.
Okay. Now, I'm keeping
the B side of that is that there's not that much organization, and you have an avalanche of material coming at people every day. Right. Some of it's great, some of it's terrible, some of it's in between, and that makes for a little bit of chaos in the business.
Okay. Now, I'm trying to keep this short as possible.
I'm doing my best.
I have a lot of questions for you.
Okay.
Artists getting record deals, to get that deal picture.
Pretty much a thing of the past.
So what would be a deal now versus today? Quick,
well, I would say that there's still the majors still have a lot of clout.
Okay.
Okay. It's not the same kind of clout, but it's still clout. It's still money. It's still machinery. It's a promotion army. It's a lot of distribution. They have a lot of things that still offer value to an artist's career. Okay. Getting to that is still as tricky as it ever was, or even harder, because there's so much stuff out there. But if you can make it on the internet, and you can make it live, and you can demonstrate to somebody at Sony or Universal or what have you that you have what it takes, EMI, that you have what it takes, it's still a good thing to go from the little tiny indie self-distributed artist to the big mega machinery that they can put behind you. So I would say the deals are different. What they want from the artist is different than what they used to want, because money in the business moves differently than it used to move.
All right. Indie versus major. Vice major.
Well, you know, a major's like a battleship. Okay, it's really hard to turn a battleship around on a dime.
Yeah.
Okay, you saw how poorly the majors reacted to digital music and the downloads and iTunes and Amazon.com. I mean, it took them forever to turn the battleship around. Okay, they spent billions and billions of precious dollars fighting the technology instead of harnessing the technology and getting ahead of it. You know. Whereas in indie, we're lean and we're mean, and we can, you know, opportunity. Wow, okay, there we go, and we're into it. We don't have to move a whole staff and a board of directors and stockholders and all that. So I like it. Let's go that way.
All right. Well, people, we have to wrap this up. I'm sorry that we ran through this real quick. I have a whole lot of questions, so hopefully we get to sit down again.
Anytime.
What can they look forward to from you? From your label?
Well, we're such a different label. It would be whole show would be on how we're different. I'll just tell you that
we got music coming out.
We do it a single at a time.
Okay.
We don't sign artists exclusive. It's so different than the business I grew up in.
All right.
I do it. My agreement's called a one song at a time agreement.
Okay.
So
keep it simple.
And we do singles. It's not an album market anyway right now. We're back to being in the old singles market. It's still a 99-cent download that drives the business.
Well, you're a wealth of information, so you'll see me again. I'll pick your brain all day.
Good day.
All right?
Yep.
And I thank everybody for tuning in to what we got going on here.
Thank Papa T for bringing us together.
JCT Tv.